The title of this screencast is Getting Started with Ruby and QuickBooks Online Integration, the modern way. And the reason I say modern is because if you really can just read my article here about this library, which is called QBO API, there's some problems with the current Ruby QuickBooks Online library, just primarily that it's XML centric, XML only, and I talk about why that happened. It's not like a big deal or something. I won't go over that right now, but we really need a JSON library, and the reason for that is it's a couple of reasons, but one is that you can see in this article here. Again, I'm not going to read this, but Intuit will be now on V3 sort of focusing on JSON first, and we're seeing that with some new entities like tax service that came out recently, where it's really only JSON. I don't even know if they've done XML support with it yet. I think they will be. I think they're gonna have to do that because there's so many libraries that are supporting XML and a lot of users that are doing XML as a data format. But anyway, I don't think they have it right now. And just number two, the JSON is just really nice because in most languages, including Ruby, you can just make this is a hash in Ruby right here. Of course, you're probably watching this screencast because you're doing Ruby, but I just took this right from the documentation, which is all in JSON nowadays. It used to be in XML. Now, before you could see it in JSON and XML, the QBO API documentation. Now it's just in JSON, and they don't even have a XML option. So, you just construct this and send it. And in QuickBooks Ruby, you really have to do a bunch of other stuff. You got to go look at what's called the QuickBooks Ruby models and construct your request that way. And then a response is just JSON parsed. Now, there is a requirement for Ruby 2.2.2. Actually, you could just use Ruby 2.2. But we're just going to have that requirement on the latest 2.2 version. There's some other benefits too. It's built upon Faraday, and just read about the advantages Faraday has. This is a big one, I think, too, is that all the specs of this library are built against the sandbox using VCR. And VCR, read more about VCR if you don't know why that's cool, but it helps record the interactions so you don't have to construct manual fixtures, and it has robust error handling. And if you're starting a new project, I would very, very, very highly recommend starting with this gem. Now, it's some things it does not have, but you could help put them in, like payments API, downloading and uploading attachments. It won't be too hard for you to do that. That is in QuickBooks Ruby, but not in here. But look, you can help make more features in QBO API. So what I want to do in this screencast is we simply are just going to do this spinning up an example. All right, so let's do that. Let's follow step 1 here. Let's go over. Now you're going to need Ruby 2.2, okay, and I'm going to switch over to my GitHub Labs, which is just kind of like a throwaway directory. Of course, I already have this cloned somewhere, but I'm going to put it in my Labs directory, and let's switch into it. Now we're going to need to bundle too. I got to add that. All right, because we got to bundle everything. Okay, and I'll be right back. All right, we're done the bundle, and let's go to the next step. Now that's to create a .m file, but I'm missing another piece of instructions here. You need to make a QuickBooks Online account. You need to make a QuickBooks Online app to get to these next steps. So what you need to do is go to developer.intuit.com and sign up. Okay, I'm already signed up here. I got multiple accounts. So and you'll get presented with a screen like this. All right, so we want to do this. Just select, is there like a create apps here? All right, so it just does that. All right, so we just do select APIs. We're just going to do accounting. I don't support payments yet. I have a little bit of support for payments in, but like the URL and stuff. But anyway, let's just keep moving. So you just select that. You create an app. All right, so you got an app. Well, let's give it a name. I'm just going to call it test app. And here we get the keys and stuff. I won't actually go to this page because it's not a big deal, but like those tokens will be displayed. And you're going to put that information in here. Okay, so let's copy this. All right. And I'm going to make a .m file. So let me go into Tmux. And I'm just going to make a .env. Copy these in. Oops, that didn't copy good. That's better. And I'm going to fill in this information again from this tab. So you're going to go into this development keys and you're going to see the consumer key, consumer secret. Now I'm going to go behind the scenes and put these in, and you should do the same. And then I'll be back. Okay, so I just finished putting those things in the .m file, the OAuth consumer key and OAuth consumer secret. So let's go back to the documentation. And, I'm missing another piece. That's like the third thing I'm missing. I'll update this README here, but we're going to want to start the example server. All right, and I'm going to make a new window for that to do that. And want to now if you're going to be doing a sort of a lot of kind of messing around and fooling around after you see the screencast or look at the article, you might want to use Shotgun because that'll automatically reload. This is a Sinatra app in the example, but I'm just going to be using Ruby, and go to example, and it's app RB. Okay, now we're spun up with that. So we're on port 9393. I'm using that because that's what Shotgun uses by default. So let's now go to localhost. This step. I could just use this window tab. Okay, so we're going to get the connect to QuickBooks button there. All right, to see some of the code is you need to go to the example directory. And let me do that. I'll go to app RB and let me focus on this window. And if the page we're on right now is index page. Okay, so what if you need to do this for your own stuff? You're going to need a page like this. And this is the button that's displaying here, or you got to put this in first. And this is what they use to generate that button we're currently looking at right now. So let's go back to the window. So when we're going to be hitting this button, we're going to be connecting to a sandbox that Intuit gives us. So to explain what's going on, we've made the app, the test app, That's going to be our server. That's the code we're developing. That's your app. Okay, like that's the app you want to integrate with. What you're going to be connecting to is the sandbox. This is like what your client. This is your client's QBO. Okay, because they want to connect to your app. You want to integrate your app with their QuickBooks Online, and that's what this simulates. Let's open this up in a new tab. Okay, so it's let's just go to this company here. That's the sandbox, by the way. So I'm just clicking on the sandbox here, the URL. And this is the sandbox you get. Now, you only get one sandbox for your login. Okay, so these aren't sandboxes that are for this test app. These are sandboxes that are associated to your login. So your login has many sandboxes. You can make up to 5. I'm going to have more on that in another screencast. But these aren't directly related, okay? This is just a sample client QBO login, all right? They're not somehow connected together. All right. So that's what we're going to be connecting to is this Indie Dev Sandbox. You're going to have something different. And let's keep moving now. All right. So let's hit this. I'm going to go into a new tab. You'll probably get oops, we got a problem here. Okay, parameter absent. It might be that because when I made the new app, I didn't select payments. So let me make payments false here, and let's start again. Got to refresh to get that change in to this button. Oh, getting the same problem. All right, let's take a look at the code here. So in example app RB, we're using the here's probably where the problem is. We don't have the .m file sourced. We're using, by the way, the OmniAuth gem, the OmniAuth QuickBooks gem to make it easy. And see here, we don't have the consumer key and consumer secret from the .m file in. So I'm going to go out of Zoom View and Tmux. I'm going to stop the server. And I need to source and get these environmental variables from the .m file into my shell. So when I start up the Ruby server, those .m files here are properly loaded. So I'm going to source .env, and let's start up the server again. And I still believe I need to make the change here as well. That's going to be a problem too. But that's not going to be a problem now. And again, I'm going to need to update these README the document there to get everything right. But this is good to walk through this. All right, so I'm going to go back here now. I'm going to restart this. Got to reload, and let's try again. And hopefully not going to get any errors this time. Okay, and we don't. Okay, so here is the Indie Dev Sandbox. Now, I'm already logged in here. That's why I'm getting this to come up like that. Otherwise, you'd have a login screen. And you'd have to log in again to using your developer credentials. But since I'm already logged in this tab, it recognizes that session, and I get immediately skipped to this page. So we're going to hit authorize. Okay, and I'm also displaying this information here. Now, that's because this helps. This example is to mostly help. You know what? I don't think I should be displaying this, and I'll have to take that out as well. But this example RB is also to help you to do the specs, because to do the specs again are done against the sandbox. So this example is also to help you get your credentials so you can do the specking. But I think I need to not display these. But you need these to initialize the QBO API gem, like up here. And initialize. You need to put these 3 items: token, token secret, and realm ID. This is again this consumer key, consumer secret. These are from your app. These are client specific: token, token secret, realm ID. They go into the QBO API gem thus. So let's go back here. Now, if we go back to these instructions here, which are so bad, but I'll be fixing these. We're just going to put in this URL. Now that we're connected. So let's go customer 5. Oops, we got another error here. I'm going to need to go in. This is not going to tell me much unless I put on. By the way, this is where we're at right now. So we're just simply trying to make a call here and get the customer display name, but the actual the route is here, and we're just doing really a simple get here. So let me see what the problem is, and now I'll turn on logging. So there's a log feature in QBO API under configuration. Where is that? Okay, so we're going to do log is true. Okay, we're going to save it. Now we got to restart the server. That's why Shotgun is nice. Didn't think I was going to have these problems. But let's go back here. And let me restart. And I'm going to get this error again. And hopefully it'll give me more output this time. Let me zoom this window in Tmux. Okay, I'm going to go into escape mode there. I'm just going to go up to where the request is. Okay, you know, this is getting a successful request. Here's the request part. And you can see we're getting the request. This is Duke's basketball camp from the. Okay, so this is not the problem. We are getting a successful response. Let me zoom out. Let's take a look here. This also automatically does a JSON parse when we do a get. So this is JSON here. And we can, let's go look here. Okay, you know what's happening? I made some changes where you would not have to put this customer bit in. That it recognizes that it's a customer call. So I made it more convenient that you can just grab the display name. So I need to get rid of this. This is just an artifact there. I changed some of the code in the API. All right. So I don't have to restart, do I? If I do a change in the view, do I have to restart? Well, let's test. Okay, now here we go. There's Duke's basketball camp, finally. Thanks for sitting through all these errors, but it's going to help me make the example part of this better in the README. But where this is coming from is in your sandbox, which is right here. Under customers, you get all these default customers, and this is going to be Duke's basketball camp, which is number 5. You see name ID number 5 there. So that's it. That's going to help you get started, get going here with the QBO API gem. I plan on having many more screencasts, but that's certainly a great way to get started. And you can look at Again, some of the code here in the example directory of AppRB is going to help you get started. If it's a Rails project, it's still going to be massively helpful. Thanks for watching.